Calaroga Shark Media.
Pope Francis, who broke centuries of tradition by becoming the first pope from the Americas and the first Jesuit to lead the Roman Catholic Church, has passed away at the age of 88. His passing marks the end of an 11-year papacy that transformed the Catholic Church's relationship with the modern world. From his first moments as pope, when he paid his own hotel bill and chose to live in the Vatican guest house rather than the Apostolic Palace, Francis challenged papal traditions while attempting to reform one of the world's oldest institutions. His election in 2013 marked several historic firsts: the first pope from the Americas, the first from the Southern Hemisphere, the first Jesuit, and the first to take the name Francis. Each choice signaled the dramatic changes his papacy would bring to the Catholic Church. Born Jorge Mario Bergoglio in Buenos Aires on December 17, 1936, to Italian immigrant parents, his early life reflected the modest circumstances that would later inform his papal priorities. His father Mario worked as an accountant for the railways, while his mother Regina Sivori devoted herself to raising their 5 children. Before finding his religious vocation, the future pope worked as a chemical technician and, briefly, as a nightclub bouncer. This diverse life experience would later influence his understanding of ordinary people's lives and challenges. He entered the Society of Jesus in 1958, beginning a lengthy period of formation that included studies in Chile, Argentina, and Spain. His theological education coincided with the Second Vatican Council, whose reforms would later influence his own papal agenda. Ordained to the priesthood in 1969, Father Bergoglio quickly assumed positions of responsibility within the Jesuit order. By 1973, at just 36 years of age, he was appointed provincial superior of the Jesuits in Argentina, serving during the country's difficult Dirty War period. His leadership during Argentina's financial crisis of 2001 established him as a voice for social justice and the poor. As Archbishop of Buenos Aires, he became known for his simple lifestyle, taking public transportation, cooking his own meals, and living in a modest apartment rather than the episcopal palace. The conclave of 2013 followed the historic resignation of Pope Benedict the Sixteenth, the first papal resignation in nearly 600 years. Cardinal Bergoglio's election on March 13th came as a surprise to many observers, though he had reportedly been the runner-up in the 2005 conclave that elected Benedict. His choice of the name Francis, never before used by a pope, signalled his priorities. Named for Saint Francis of Assisi, the 13th century friar known for his poverty and reform of the Church, the name suggested a papacy focused on the poor, peace and care for creation. Francis's 11 years as pope were marked by efforts to reform the Church's central administration, address financial scandals, and shift its focus toward the margins of society. He revamped the Vatican Bank, reformed the Roman Curia, and gave greater authority to local bishops' conferences. His first major document, Evangelii Gaudium, The Joy of the Gospel, outlined his vision of a church that goes out to the peripheries. His 2015 encyclical, Laudato Si, made him the first pope to dedicate an entire encyclical to environmental issues, arguing that care for the environment is inseparable from care for the poor. Francis's papacy faced the ongoing challenge of the clergy sexual abuse crisis. He established the Pontifical Commission for the Protection of Minors in 2014 and in 2019 issued Vos Estis Lux Mundi, a landmark document making bishops accountable for handling abuse cases. His 2022 apology to Indigenous peoples in Canada for abuse in residential schools marked a new level of papal accountability for church wrongs. His diplomatic legacy included historic breakthroughs. The 2015 restoration of US-Cuban relations owed much to Vatican mediation. His 2016 meeting with Russian Orthodox Patriarch Kirill in Cuba was the first such meeting since the Great Schism of 1054. Within the Church, Francis faced significant opposition from traditionalist Catholics who viewed his reforms with alarm. His 2016 document, Amoris Laetitia, suggesting possible paths for divorced and remarried Catholics to receive communion, prompted 4 cardinals to issue formal doubts about his teaching. His 2021 restrictions on the traditional Latin Mass revealed the tensions between his vision of Vatican II's reforms and those advocating for pre-conciliar traditions. Yet Francis maintained that unity didn't require uniformity, often saying the Church should be reconciled in our differences. Francis's social teachings emphasized what he called the 3 T's in Spanish: tierra, teco, and trabajo, land, housing and work. He consistently criticized what he termed savage capitalism while advocating for environmental protection, immigrant rights, and economic justice. His 2020 pandemic blessing, Urbi et Orbi, delivered to an empty St. Peter's Square, became an iconic image of spiritual leadership during global crisis. During the COVID-19 pandemic, he emphasized the need for vaccine equity and global solidarity. Interfaith relations marked a particular achievement. His friendship with Rabbi Abraham Skorka and Muslim leader Omar Aboud, dating from his time in Argentina, informed his approach to interreligious dialogue. His 2019 document on human fraternity, signed with Grand Imam Ahmed El-Tayeb, was groundbreaking in Muslim-Catholic relations. Francis's informal communication style transformed papal public presence. His impromptu press conferences on papal flights became anticipated events. His Twitter accounts in multiple languages reached millions, while his 2023 TikTok debut showed his willingness to use new platforms to reach younger audiences. His simple lifestyle continued throughout his papacy. He refused to live in the Apostolic Palace, residing instead in the Vatican's Santa Marta guest house. He carried his own briefcase when traveling and paid his own hotel bills. Health issues marked his later years. Part of one lung had been removed in his youth due to an infection. He underwent colon surgery in 2021 and increasingly used a wheelchair due to knee problems. Yet he maintained a grueling schedule of public appearances and international travel well into his 80s. Francis's papacy represented a significant shift in the Church's engagement with contemporary issues. While maintaining traditional doctrine, he emphasized pastoral approaches to complex moral issues, famously asking, "Who am I to judge?" regarding gay Catholics. His emphasis on synodality, collaborative church governance, may prove his most lasting institutional legacy. The 2021 launch of a global synodal process aimed to make consultation and dialogue permanent features of church life. Those who worked closely with Francis noted his disciplined schedule, rising at 4 in the morning for prayer, and his direct management style. He maintained close friendships with people from his days in Argentina and was known for making personal phone calls to individuals who wrote to him. His sense of humor often surfaced in public appearances. He joked about mother-in-laws, referred to gossips as terrorists, and displayed a remarkably light touch when things went wrong at papal ceremonies. According to church law, Francis's death initiates a period known as the sede vacante, vacant seat. Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re, as Dean of the College of Cardinals, will oversee preparations for the conclave to elect his successor. Francis leaves a transformed papacy and a church more openly grappling with contemporary challenges. His final message to the faithful, delivered details, echoed themes that defined his papacy: mercy, care for the poor, and the joy of the gospel. He is survived by the global Catholic Church of over 1 billion faithful. His funeral mass will be celebrated in St. Peter's Square within 4 to 6 days of his death, following which the College of Cardinals will enter conclave to elect the 267th Pope.